What's up, guys? It is a very rainy day out. I just dropped my daughter off at school, but sometimes I love these rainy days because it kind of makes me see better. I'm in a high frequency state this morning. I'm in a high frequency state most of the time because of the actions that I put into my life that raise my frequency. But my message I want to get across today is a very important message, and that message is that you should never make big and important life decisions when you are in a low frequency state. And I'm going to give you some examples by what I mean and how I learned this lesson. I'm going to talk about when I tried to take my own life, and it wasn't just a one-time occurrence. It was at a time when my wife at the time had left me, and she was sleeping with some other guy, and I was head over heels for her. You know, we were together for a long time, a lot of years. I still love her. She's the mother of my first daughter, but you know, it's a different kind of love now. But anyways, I was in such a low frequency state. The only thing that I could think of is to end my life. I sat there with a gun in my mouth for hours one night, and like I kept trying to do it. I kept trying to pull that trigger, but I didn't have the balls to do it, and I'm thankful that I didn't. But I came up with other ways because of that low frequency state I was in, and I was trying to make big decisions for my life in that state that I actually, because at the time I was injecting heroin and coke. At the time was my thing back then, was the speedballs. So for a week straight, I set my eyes on how I could overdose. Now, I had such a high tolerance to drugs back then. I was literally doing shots of like 3 to 4 balloons of heroin with a whole balloon of white or 2, and it would just get me high, you know, and then make me feel normal afterwards. And I was the level I was at was really bad. And they don't make, and I was like, I need to overdose. I need to figure out a way to do this. And they don't make syringes with the insulin-sized needle, like the 29 to 30 gauge needle. They don't make them so where they hold enough that I could overdose. So I actually went and bought a horse syringe with like an 18 gauge needle on it, but I have no veins. So I cut apart an insulin needle, and I like attached it to the end of that, and I attached it real tight and glued it and made it so it was airtight. And for a whole week straight, I tried to overdose. I started out, I did like six blacks and like 3 whites. It didn't work. I got real high, but it didn't work. And then the next day after that, I tried 8 blacks and 4 whites, and it didn't work. I didn't overdose. It took me a few days to gather up more money to do some tattoos and to make some money. But anyways, I eventually ended up doing 9 blacks and 6 whites, and it did the trick. I overdosed in my car at the tattoo shop I was actually running and working at the time, and thank God they saved me. The ambulance came and they gave me a Naran shot, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it's the worst I ever felt in my life was when they brought me back. Because that low frequency state I was in, I just wanted to end it. And when they brought me back, I was angry, and I could feel all the pain in the world, and the only thing I could think of is how I wanted to try to end my life again. And I'm going to tell you, when you're in a low frequency state and you're trying to solve problems in your life, or trying to come up with these decisions that are going to be life-changing, it is the absolute worst thing that you can do. You should wait or learn how to raise your frequency to a better frequency before you make those kind of decisions. Just like when COVID hit, I had opened a tattoo shop with one of my best friends, and I mean, the shop was amazing. It was picking up, it was getting busy. We weren't open for maybe 2 years before we lost the shop because of COVID, and because of money issues, and because, well, COVID. And but I remember the amount of work and the amount of time that it took to open that shop, the manifestation that me and my friend put together, and the belief that we had to put in, the work that we had to put in, the concentration, the focus. I mean, it was a lot of work. It wasn't easy, and it was at a time where I wasn't doing that great in life either, but we did it. We opened that shop. It was a badass shop. We had a lot of badass clients. We did a lot of badass tattoos. And when I lost that shop, I sunk into a deep depression again. And I made the choice that I'm not going to tattoo anymore. I made the choice that I'm done with it, because no matter what I do, I always lose it. And thank God one of my friends, he hit me up, and it's who I work for now at the shop I'm working at now. But he must have sensed that I was in that low frequency state, and he stepped in to help me and pull me out of my rut, and I was able to go work for him, and I'm still working for him. But the moral of the story is that if you are in a low frequency, definitely do not make big decisions about life, because those are going to be the worst decisions that you could possibly make. And I have family members, multiple family members, that have committed suicide, taken their own lives, because they made those decisions when they were in a low frequency state, and is the absolute worst thing you can do. And I understand that when you're in that low state and you don't have the patience and everything seems like it's just very extreme, that you want to jump to these decisions and you want to fix it right then and there, and you don't have the patience to wait for that higher frequency to come. But I'm going to tell you right now, wait. It's worth the wait. If you got to sit in that low frequency state for days, weeks, months, do it. Or just do like me and raise that frequency by getting to action. Action raises your frequency. Like, some of the best decisions I've made are when I'm in a high frequency state. Some of the best talks I come up with when I do these talks are because I've raised my vibration from doing a good workout, or getting a good journaling session in, or reading an awesome chapter from an awesome book, or listening to a podcast from somebody that's motivating, or a speech. And then I make these decisions that are amazing, and I get inspiration, and the actual decisions I make are the best. So high frequency, low frequency, don't make the decisions when you're in that low frequency. Choose to make them when you're in that high frequency. Be patient, because it will come. Or better yet, do the work.